Hey, Mark here, and I have a really fun giveaway for you. I have 5 digital copies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on digital, and if you would want to win a copy, just shoot me a message and be like, hey, Mark, I would love to win a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. There's no guarantees to win, but it's worth a shot for a cool movie. So yeah, get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on digital today. After years of hiding, the Turtle Brothers set out to gain acceptance as normal teenagers and take on an army of mutants in this hilarious action-packed adventure. Buy or rent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on digital today and get over 40 minutes of bonus content when you buy on digital. Available at participating retailers, rated PG from Paramount Pictures. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that's hanging outside his house, hanging on an umbrella while recording this episode. It's James Mula. Thank you for joining me.
Hey guys, happy to be here again, and my arm strength impresses me still.
So you came in for A Knight's Tale, which is one of my favorite movies, and now you're joining me for Police Story, which is one of my all-time favorite action films. So we're covering all the cool stuff, and and also The Wizard, which was a movie of my youth, which I adore. So thank you for this is just James. Can I just say something? This is gonna be cool. Like this episode, this is an episode why I love the Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast, because first and foremost, I love to research and I love to learn. I feel like knowledge is power. And so the amount of research that I've done on Jackie Chan's career, like I've worked on some videos for him before, and I've done like Jackie Chan versus Jet Li and all that kind of stuff. Versus Donnie Yen, he was in there. But this was one of the first times I've done a deep dive into his career and found out about him at the opera school and how he trained when he was young and he moved to Australia, how he came up with the name Jackie, his early attempt to break America, his Hong Kong hits where he's just like, you know what, I'm going to fuse American cinema and Hong Kong cinema, and I'm going to put them into one. Like I'm going to combine them, and then I'm going to blow up, and then I'm going to storm America and make it big with Rush Hour and Shanghai Noon, and I'm still going to be rolling. And in Vanguard a few years ago, he's on a jet ski, which makes me happy. So just diving into this and researching the directors who he worked with through the years, his school, watching behind the scenes. And one thing I love about Jackie Chan, much so as I love about, Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd, like the people he adores, is that even Johnny Knoxville, but these guys, like Knoxville loves Buster Keaton. Oh my gosh. But these guys put it on themselves. They hurt themselves. They put themselves in danger. They pushed the limits. They hurt many stuntmen, but they also were in there breaking their legs, Johnny Knoxville's had 4 million concussions. Like these guys put it on themselves to entertain audiences. And I think Police Story is on almost close to the top of the mountain for Jackie Chan. But I just love how, first and foremost, he and his stunt crew want to entertain. They want to entertain the masses, and they do. I mean, this movie is wildly, this 1985 film, Police Story, is wildly entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I'll rip off the commentary to the DVD set that I got, is one point. And let me just say before that, like the first time, because Rumble in the Bronx for me was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I was training at the dojo, and all the senseis were like, oh, Rumble in the Bronx just came out. How cool is that? Like, so like a year or two later, I was working at Blockbuster, and I got a chance to finally see it because I didn't see it in theaters. And that movie was just, I mean, because I've been watching a lot of Japanese cinema. I'd seen Drunken Master and a couple movies like that in the past, but this was like, it was just cool. It was cool. It was fast. It was just like the action was nonstop. I mean, it's really cool. But like all the 80s actors at the time, like Stallone, Van Damme, like they're big, tough. There's no comedy. They're just big and tough, and like explosions and bullets and Schwarzenegger and the chopper and all that stuff, And here this guy comes along and he's like, he can get hit. He'll take punches and he'll make comedy. And like, I think you may have also seen the Edgar Wright interview. And like that's one thing he said is like this guy could probably whoop all of them, but
Mhm.
like he'll take a beating for the sake of the movie because he's in every guy. And I just thought it's just so cool. It's just so relatable. It's so cool. Like, and at that moment, it was probably the first time in my life that I was like, I want to meet a celebrity, and it was Jackie Chan.
This guy's been hurt his entire career. So I mean, he's been like even in his movies and his career, he's probably had more fractures than any other human being on this planet, aside from maybe Johnny Knoxville. But yeah, and rodeo clowns who work a long time. And
Oh my,
there's been a ton of people, but just watching this movie again and seeing how he, you know what I love about Jackie Chan and what I love about artists in general is he tinkered. He really tinkered. They initially wanted him to be a Bruce Lee knockoff,
mhm.
and then they wanted him to kind of focus on other types of martial arts. Then he went to America and he had to sort of blend into the American type of action. And then eventually he saved up his money. He started directing on his own. He learned. He failed in America and then he learned from that. So the following year he comes back with Police Story, which has a hard-boiled esque, not the movie Hard Boiled, but it's like the tough cop who goes rogue and causes an insane amount of destruction, gets in trouble with superiors, and he has to save a woman, but he also has to, but then there's also just, I mean, the double decker bus when they're driving through the town, when he runs down the hill, when he slides down the pole, when he does his car fights. Like there are so many absurd and beautiful action beats, and I think he found did a really great job of synthesizing. And that's what I love about him is he didn't try to just like he like he was a square peg and they tried to fit him in a circle hole, but then eventually he made himself, he molded his films into something that could fit into all over the world and like make him huge, if that makes sense. Like he didn't just go, this is me, like I'm just sticking to this. He adapted, and I love it.
He didn't go, "This is me." He went, "Who am I?"
Yeah, who am I?
Um,
Yeah, he's not in the Hugh Jackman movie, This Is Me. Wait, no,
um,
what's the name of The Greatest Showman? Is it This Is Me? I don't know. I don't want to talk about that movie. But yeah, he said, who am I?
well, what's man? Because there's so many things to just you pick any point right there, just go off on a thing. One of the things last night that I was rewatching it again, there are so many nuances that he brought to every movie after that. After Police Story, like when he goes down the light pole with all the lights exploding, that was in Rush Hour 2, kind of when he's going down the whole flag thing. Or like when he's going down the side of the cliff, that was like in Who Am I when he's coming down the side of the glass building. These were stunts that like he did before, but then he did them even bigger. And it's just he's so entertaining. And I think that's what he really understands is that yeah, martial arts are really cool. I mean, I'm an unabashedly huge fan of martial arts flicks. But what Jackie brings to it is this excellent physical comedy. And it's just I mean, this is the movie where he's like touching his face, like, oh, I hit the cactus. And he's doing that. But that became trademark. Every
Yeah.
movie where he did something like that, he'd do that like face scrunchy thing. It's really refreshing to go back to, not just this movie, but movies in general that are older, that were the start of careers or the start of genres or trilogies or whatever. And just to see how well this movie holds up against the catalog that he's done since then, even it's still the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of Jackie Chan. I think it's just perfect.
I think so too. And there's a couple reasons for that. And also too, I love how he just saw Buster Keaton gags and was like, I'm going to recreate those, but bigger. So if you watch the side by sides, which makes me so happy,
Yeah.
the way he recreated all that. But I think Super Cop, not Super Cop, that was in the States, we had Rumble in the Bronx, right? And then we had Operation Condor, Super Cop, and First Strike, and they were all renamed. And I didn't know that one of them was like, Police Story 4. I just thought it was First Strike. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Jackie Chan's First Strike, not Police Story 4.
I was like, I'm
Had
just
no
gonna go
idea.
watch it. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna go see it. And what I think what works about Police Story is that sometimes I think when look at, like, this is a really weird example, but Fletch with Chevy Chase, that movie was beautiful. But
Yeah.
then Fletch 2, he was just sort of, I'm not saying Police Story 2 is Fletch 2, but he was trying to recreate the magic of that. And I
Yeah.
think what Police Story gets right is that Its stunts are big and they're horrifying, and I would die, but they aren't as extreme as some of his later ones. And call me crazy. I mean, I know he slid down a pole, burnt his hands, landed in a thing. Like I know people fell out of a bus, but he's not jumping 26 feet into. It's it's before it became Jackie Chan needs this in his movies. Like this is what you go to see a Jackie Chan movie for. Oh, he has to slide through a ladder. Oh, he has to pick up a bar stool. Oh, there's a tire there. He's going to use that tire. And
I
I
need the
love all
ladder.
that.
The
And like,
ladder.
yeah, the ladder. And like, listen, Skip Trace with Rennie Harlan. There's some beautiful stuff he does in that movie too. There's a really great gag. But Police Story is great because it's before that became required viewing for him. And so, he had done stunts before. He had done martial arts before. I'm not saying this was the only time he's ever done stunts in his life. That's totally incorrect. But I do think there are movies sometimes that explode. Like, look at slashers, right? Halloween wasn't the first slasher, but it exploded slashers into popularity. So it's not the first slasher, but Police Story is not Jackie Chan's first film, nor is it the first film that he did big stunts in. Like he did big ones, like the huge stunts before this movie. But I think this one with the hill and the bus and the sliding down the pole, that just stepped it up to another world. And I think why this holds up is because it still feels fresh and dangerous and a lot of glass breaks, but it doesn't feel like, oh, we got to up this, we got to up that, we need to include this, if that makes sense. It feels very organic.
Well, I'll give you an analogy then for this because I'm a big skateboarder. That's what I love, right? You watch these videos of these guys pulling this stuff off, like Jaws doing 25 steps at Leon, or like Jamie Thomas doing an 18-foot jump over into nothing. And it's like they make it look easy. You don't
Mm-hmm.
see the millions of times that they failed and they broke themselves and they finally landed it, and of course you don't see that in the movie, the finished cut of a Jackie Chan movie, but that to me is what it's like these guys did it over and over and over and over again until they got it right, and that's what you see, and it looks effortless and just magical. It's magic, knowing that they put that much into it, that much effort, that much care for the audience. They do it for the audience, and it's just beautiful. It's cinema. It's perfect.
Absolutely. And he has his own stunt school. He has his own team. He directed this. Like, I think this is when he felt very comfortable with his abilities. He had learned. He maybe became a little jaded because of the lack of success in America. And he went back making this thinking he had something to prove. And he also had an incredible stunt team who, you know, what's crazy about these movies is you see these guys falling out of the double decker bus. They went to the hospital. You see some of these takes, like that dude's going to the hospital. Like, this is, I'm not saying it's good, but remember when Jackie fought Benny, the Jet? Like Benny was hitting him. Like one thing about Jackie Chan is he will get hit, and
Yeah,
so the fight at the end when three people are coming at him at once. This isn't the classic 1v1v1v1v1. Like he is bouncing off many people three at a time, and it's just, I don't know, this. I think if you're putting together a top five Jackie Chan list, Police Story has to be in the top three, I would say. I think
definitely
it
three.
would be kind of provocative. Like Drunken Master 2 is incredible. People,
That's
those are
man.
number.
I
I
I
want,
would say Police Story is probably for me the only required top five, because then you're dealing. It's kind of like the Beatles. Are you an early fan, a late fan, a middle fan? What's your period of Jackie Chan?
I mean, when he came to America, his body was duct taped together, but he still. I think they found a way to pair him with Chris Tucker, Owen Wilson. They found ways for him to succeed with other aspects, but they still featured him doing some really cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was looking through the greatest action movies of all time, and I went through about 10 lists today from reputable sources, Empire, Rolling Stones, just bigger
Right.
sites. And I'm not saying they're all reputable, but like at least I feel like they put some work into it. And it's big stories in all of them. It's in all of them in the greatest action movies of all time. It
I mean,
it belongs there.
it's a tight movie too. The
Yeah,
runtime is perfect.
100 minutes.
Yeah, you're never bored the whole movie. Like you look away, you miss something, and I feel like a lot of movies these days. I love the MCU, but like I don't have 3 hours all the time to watch a movie, and like sometimes I just want to watch something
Yeah.
fun movie. And Police Story hits that. It's fun. It's classic Chan. It's action comedy. I mean, it's yeah. How do you not include that in like? It's just it's great.
And like even the silly bits in this, where he's on the phone, or where you have the fake killer attack, or you
That
have
is that scene. So Laurel never seen Police Story.
oh
So so I'm watching it, and she's like, "This is the worst assassin ever. Like this is just silly." And I'm like, "I can't blow it. I'm letting her watch the scene." And then it's like, "Wait, he's not an assassin." I was like, "No, they're trying to scare her." But like, it's so ridiculous. Like this. I mean, you're watching, and he's standing up, and she's laying down, and all of a sudden he's on the ground, and he's like trying to stab at the floor. And I'm like, "How did you even get there? Why are you doing?" Like, it's just absurd. I just
yeah.
love it.
And you know what's interesting? It's absurd, but then there's also very brutal violence. When Jackie Chan starts working the guts of the villains at the end, when he just pulverizes their insides, and then just people getting slammed through glass, people fall. Like there's a lot of really, there's people dying. Like there's a lot of people getting violently hurt in this movie. But then you have an entire subplot about a lawyer who uses, like, if the glove doesn't fit, you can't
Oh my
convict. And
god, that
about
scene
the
is
bus,
just
how many buses pass by? 80. Okay, well, you went by minutes. So how do you know it was that bus? And
yeah.
just the twisting of words, and then the tape gets mixed up, and the
Oh, the
sexual
tape mix up is
innuendos.
that's it's so good though because it's
It's
like right. It's supposed to be that like this crazy trial where this dude is doing all this wordcraft stuff, and then it's like I have the evidence, and you're like he's got some evidence, and then like oh man, and then poor May sitting
May.
there.
He's such a turd to May. And yeah, just the car. And then there's the car bit with the phone booth. It
Yeah.
tonally, this movie should give us whiplash. It really should, because the violence, at the end, when it pops off in that mall, he's pissed. He's ready to, like he's really ready to hurt people.
Well,
And
you brought up a good point earlier, right? So the movie starts off in the village, and those cars are going through. They're destroying the entire shantytown, basically. Like, I mean, that's just I can't believe they did that. First of all, because it's I mean, with the shots, the long shots, and the zooming in and the coming down, and I'm like. I'm sitting here like all three of the bad guys hit the rock, but Jackie Chan didn't hit the rock at the end of the hill. But it's like I'm looking at that, I'm like, yeah. So like right, and dude, the guy peeing his pants and going
yeah,
through the shot, and it's like it's like Lethal Weapon tense. It's like, oh my god, shoot out bad guys, ah, and then like right when he gets, then Selena after the bus and everything else, and then it's like Cactus and all that ridiculous. Well, the assassin, but I mean,
they didn't say a
it's just
word to me. Remember, they just sit there looking at the goldfish.
no, and then but it's and then you watch the mall fight, of course, at the end. The mall fight. Let's until Stranger Things, there was never a mall scene in anything that I liked as much as that. And it's so I don't mean Saturday morning cartoon and it's hokey, it's violent. It's so violent, but there's no blood. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, they're probably just knocked out, even though you see a guy literally going through a glass staircase, and you're like, adult me is like he's done. But like younger me was like, oh, he's just got the birds and the stars going around his head. That's it.
And it works. I don't think people realize the balancing act to not go into too violent, but then still keep it violent, but then still keep it palatable for most audiences. Because what I love what Jackie Chan said. He said in a lot of Asian countries, specifically, in China, Hong Kong, where he's from, he or British controlled Hong
British
Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah,
When he was born, yeah.
yeah, and so they wanted stunts. He said Jackie Chan said they wanted stunts,
Mm-hmm.
and then but in American cinema, we do love that Dirty Harry, the Mitchell, the Death Wish, because this is pre Lethal Weapon. This is pre
Oh
Die
yeah,
Hard,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
we don't have those cops yet. And
Mm.
so this is
This is
this is
Charlie Bronson stuff. Like that's what we were doing.
yeah, and
Like the hard as nails, tough. Like you'd be asking yourself, do I feel lucky?
and listen, he never goes that hard with it, because that's not who he is. That's not his strength. But it is that's not his strength. So he instead made it more about just being super pissed off. Like he's not a renegade dad. He's not a renegade father. He's not really a renegade cop. He's just really pissed off. And he's gonna kick some heads, and he's gonna work some guts. And I think that's such a great balance for him. And you can see him learning. you can watch him learn with this movie. And just the stunts. I mean, he throws a front kick through a car window and kicks a guy. There's a scene where what Selena swings a bat through glass and hits a guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many neat gags in this movie, and dislocated shoulders. Many people have dislocated shoulders in this movie, but but it's never too violent. But then it gets silly, and but also too, it has a relatively, it's, I wouldn't call it a high concept movie because it takes a few steps to explain it. So this is about a cop who just wants to bust a dude, but he also has to a man has to keep a crime lord's mistress safe so she can testify against him, I guess is what you could say. But there's a lot of twists and turns. Like this isn't Mad Max where they go there and back again. Like they drive out and then they drive back. So he still keeps it relatively high concept, which is nice, but there's still some fun elements involved. And listen, the police chiefs that are like, you've gone too far. Like that's such a staple of American. Wait, this was, well, I guess Beverly Hills Cop was a year prior and they had the angry police chief in it, who actually was a police chief. He was incredible. But I don't know. I love it. I love the synthesis of this movie, and it never feels like two movies. It feels like one movie, and that's what needs to be respected. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, then you look at the modern remake like 21 Jump Street, and it's like two cops, but it's a comedy. And like, of course, they're not martial artists, but like, okay, there's similarities between that and Police Story. Like here's a cop, but Jackie Chan's an angry guy doing a job, but he's also really funny. Whereas one is more funny and less action. I just see, like,
Oh, wait, like so 21 Jump Street, they're cops, but they're funny. But then there's also action.
right,
Yeah,
but not as much action as Jackie Chan, but a lot more gags and stuff like that. Like the whole movie's a,
one gag.
right. But then there's no way that those writers did not see Police Story and go, okay, we can make an action movie, but we're going to go over the top and make it American funny. But then Jackie Chan is here laying the blueprint for, I mean, everything he did. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be an apologist for Around the World in 80 Days. I just hated that movie. I really did. I saw it because of Jackie Chan, and I was like, oh god, this.
Why?
Yeah, and he's had some bumps in the road. I mean, for a career as
When you make
long,
100 movies, you're gonna have some bumps in the road.
oh my god, I mean, and he's just nonstop. He's still nonstop. But like that's what he did. Like that the formula is Shanghai Noon and Nights. That formula is Rush Hour 1, 2, 3. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's he. It's the refinement for American audiences, American produced movies with Jackie Chan. They just did the same thing Jackie Chan had been doing. They just bumped it up for the box office, really. But otherwise, yeah, Jackie Chan been doing this. He's good at it, and Police Story. I mean, he's got great scenes in Drunken Master.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just undeniable. But this Police Story, I think, for Jackie Chan at least, because he'd done Cannonball Run and
Mm-hmm.
and come over here to the West and didn't have commercial success. And 1984, I can't remember the name of the movie. That was a box office bust too. And then he came back, and then boom, Police Story. And I think it was his refinement. And you said it earlier. He realized who Jackie Chan was, and he made Police Story. He refined it. He put it in there, and that's it. That's the start of the Jackie Chan that I know, that I've seen most of the work of the
Yeah,
later years.
it's kind of interesting. We both discovered him in '96, but I
Mm-hmm.
think to most people they discovered him in 2001. Or wait,
Yeah.
wait, when was Rush Hour? '98? Actually, when was Rush Hour? Rush Hour
So I saw that in
98.
high school,
98.
so it had to be before 2000.
Yeah,
So
98. So I think that's when a lot of people discovered Jackie Chan. And like,
that was
let's say
yeah.
non-cinephiles. Let's say the only reason I discovered Jackie Chan is because of Quentin Tarantino talking about him and me going and watching Rumble in the Bronx and go watching his other movies. And so, yeah, I guess I knew about his stuff when he came over to America and did Rush Hour. But he and Chris Tucker in that first movie, they work well together. I just watched it again recently. But yeah, I mean, but what I like most about Police Story is, and also too, on how iconic it is. I mean, Rapid Fire pulls the scene with the motorcycle off. You have Bad Boys 2 when they destroy all that whole housing community. When you have, well, there's another one. It's Tango and Cash when he just stands in front of the car. And
Yeah, that's
like,
right. That's right. That's like the opening of that movie.
And so in the first 20 minutes, two big films lovingly paid homage to Police Story. So I think, and look at what Police Story I think did for, like, it really did influence cinema moving forward. And then you got, I know it's a completely different director, completely different star, but then you have Hard Boiled, which basically takes care of all the gun work in the 90s for the United States. So it's kind of fun watching, Asian cinema be really influential.
You
And
know,
yeah.
speaking of guns, real quick before I forget it, how great is it? How refreshing is it to watch a movie where they run out of ammo and actually have to reload? They don't get like 35 shots off and then they pull out a clip. He's like, it's 6 shots, and then he's got the reload ready. I,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
love
just
that.
love that. What good attention to detail.
Yeah, when he reloads the gun with when he has that ready, that's such a cool scene.
So
And
cool.
but yeah, like it's this is a movie where people pee their pants. This is a movie where it's quite cynical about the law, like the cops in the country. Like there's a cynicism to it, but there's also just an absolute joy to it. I mean, he steps on dog poop and then he moonwalks. Like there's an entire phone conversation where a woman's getting beaten. He's like, ah, whatever. You're like, you'll be all right. And then he gets stuck on all the phones, and then he just wants to eat. He wants to eat ramen with pencils, and then the erasers fall off,
And
and
then
he
the
eats.
East, oh, the racers.
Like but I'm telling you, man, like this shouldn't. Okay, this should work, but this is something that was thrown into a blender and formed a great shake. Like, if you left these all out and didn't blend, like for some reason it blended together really well, James. And I think
Yeah,
that's because, I mean, this guy was in movies a long time before he was in Police Story. So it's just, once again, as someone who likes to watch and learn and see people progress, like it's cool going back and watching the documentaries about his films and seeing him come up through the 70s and then come over to America and learn from that and then make a beautiful movie. It's, I don't know, I dig it. I just really like it. I just
well, what was really cool is that I saw the interview where they were asking him about how he wrote it. How did you come up with the concept for Police Story? And obviously, it was already Police Story. He knew he wanted to be a cop, and he said he wanted four things. And I told Laurel this, and she was like, "This should be like an improv thing, right?" And he's like, "I want the mall, I want the bus, I want comedy, and I want the village." And then when they were talking about it, they're like the village. That really like the end, you're chasing after the guy. He's like, no, I want to hook people. I want that to be like the thing. Then people are watching. They're like, and then comedy. And he's like, no, then the bus, and then comedy. And it's like, him talking about how he starts to formulate, like the story wasn't even fleshed out. It just had these couple of things. And him and his writers were like, all right, okay, no, it's a village. Why are you there? Drugs. Okay, drugs. You're
yeah,
chasing a drug guy, and it's like, and it just started to form from that, and it's just, again, I feel like a lot of movies that we watch are formulaic. The writers know, like, what, it's like the major chords on a guitar, like the C and the D and the G and the, you know, maybe you got an F in there, whatever, like every Counting Crows song. It's just, and I'm a huge Counting Crows fan, but I mean, it's all the same. All those pop songs are the same freaking chords. Yeah, well, they know that. They know that because that's what we like. We eat it up. We love that.
there's an
You
art
know,
to a great pop song.
yeah. Oh, there definitely is. And then, but I think, writers know that. Oh, and so they write these movies and it's formulaic. But then they hear Jackie talk about like, well, we were just kind of like putting stuff here and there, and then the story happened, and then we just and we figured it out. That's cool because like I want to be in that room with those people. I want to sit at that table and just be like, wow, this is fun. And that impressed me. I mean, so
I'm
that's
so glad
cool.
you brought that up too. Yeah, because he just had those ideas. And he goes, let's make a movie out of these. And then they're like, oh crap. But I like that though. I like that he envisioned these things, we're gonna do this. And then they write around it. And that's normally not how you write a movie. But well, you know what? Look at Jaws. I know I keep bringing this up, but Jaws, that shouldn't have worked. Look at Mad Max. It was just storyboards. Look at just some of the greatest. No one thought Star Wars was going to be good. Like everyone was like, this is crap. So I kind of like how these movies that maybe shouldn't have worked, but and are made very untraditionally, become classics, and then they're mimicked nonstop. But there really was no formula. when they made them. Like it's there's not much. I mean, Stagecoach is Mad Max Fury Roads has a big Stagecoach vibe, but I mean, Police Story, like you said, was based on four things. Let's make that. Let's add some humor in here. Let's add a whopper of a court case, and and then a mall fight. And yeah, but you know, it's kind of nice too because you watch the beginning of Police Story. You have the gunfight. You have people dying. You have stakes, but then you have an entire village destroyed. Then you have the umbrella, which was metal, and then you have the gag where he runs down a hill, and then the air brakes on the bus kicked it back, so then the stuntman didn't land on the car. That's why they
Oh,
all landed on the pavement and went to the hospital.
oh no. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
on the
Oh my
Criterion
gosh.
disc I have, I watched a documentary and the air brake stopped. And then it pushed him back. Air brake trucks. I had to drive one of those one time on a commercial that we walked a live bull into a house, like a bull, James, a bull into a suburban home. And I had to drive a truck with air brakes without a license. It was the craziest shoot of my life. But
My
yeah,
brother did the air brake thing like 5 or 6 years ago. He drove a race car for a buddy of his in a trailer across country in a big rig. And like
oh,
he didn't have that license, man. He did it.
break early.
Yeah, he said it was the most terrifying thing. And my brother is like an adrenaline dude. He's motorcycles and all that kind of stuff. And he said that was the most terrifying thing he ever did was drive that rig.
It was at night. I didn't have GPS. I didn't have GPS on my phone yet, and it wasn't at night. It was like 5 a.m. and I had to drive a air braked grip truck with paper directions,
Yes, MapQuest.
and then I had to get a bull into a house. It was insane. It's insane. But yeah,
Oh,
so I don't know where
that's
I
in
was.
your autobiography, buddy.
Yeah, it's insane. My life, deep blue Hoffmeyer. But yeah, so you watch this scene, right? And you're like, how are they going to top this? But then I think Chan is smart enough to sprinkle in really inventive action scenes. So you get the huge chase, but then you get the knife wielding assassin, which is fun. But then you get the actual assassins, which is a lot of like, which is really cool. And then you get the gunfight at the house where the crooked cop gets killed, and then he takes the police chief hostage, and everyone's like,
Hostage.
"Hey, man, like it's cool," and then he lets him go, and the guy's like, "It's totally fine," and then you top it off with the mall chase and the mall fight, and at the end you're going, "Man, it never." You're not saying, "Oh, it didn't recapture the magic of the first 20 minutes." You're like, "Holy mackerel!" Like, so he knew where to sprinkle in the humor, the action scenes. So even after that whopper of a beginning, it doesn't drag. Like it doesn't start off high and just collapse. Like he keeps you engaged. And there's art to that.
There definitely is, and we kind of touched on the tightness of the runtime, so the editing is perfect for it. But yeah, the variety, it's like eating them. Like I watch a lot of the cooking reality shows, right? And it's like the texture's all the same, like the flavors are there, but the texture's the same. And that's kind of like Jackie Chan could have fallen into that trap, but he knows the variety of the things that you want. Yeah, there's a knife fight, there's gunfights, there's cars going to, then there's he's hanging from a bus, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is not. Then there's the comedy, and then it's almost like a soft jump scare, like, oh, that assassin wasn't bad, then it's the real assassin, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh man. So like, yeah, you're just engaged. You're constantly engaged, and that's talent. That's art. Absolutely. Like if you can't turn away, that's very hard to do.
And what I like too is people get wedged between escalators. Like all the fights take place in different spots. You have the car, you have the apartment, you have the village, the mall, different floors of the mall. I do
Yes.
think there's enough difference there in the violence to not make you go into sort of violent mind. Your mind doesn't just turn off because of the sheer violence. Like, so it's interesting, people love John Wick Chapter 2. I just had to watch all the John Wick movies and analyze every kill, every headshot,
Sure.
everything. I had to watch it frame for frame. Go watch it on Fandom. It's amazing. Also some cool graphics. But yeah, they the ones in John Wick 2, when he's going through the tunnel and then the museum, all none of the henchmen are unique, and none of the kills are really unique. So I love how committed Keanu is. You can never doubt how amazing he is in those movies. But what I like more is in the first one when he goes into the Red Circle Club, where he first goes against the like bathing people, and then he goes against the suit henchmen, then he goes against the red coat henchmen, Then he fights the boss of the henchmen and the two MMA fighters, Keith Jardine and another guy who I can't remember. Like there's levels to the villains in the Red Circle Club, and like the villainess on each floor, she kills different looking people. Like that's what, and even in like I remember an Old Boy, like when he
Mm.
fights, the people have enough personality to really dig it. And I think that's another great thing about Jackie. This movie is the action's so inventive and so stylish that you never just your brain never clicks off because you're like, oh, it's just John Wick killing 40 people. If that makes does that make sense? Like there's enough variety there to
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
you engaged.
this is a major problem in video game development too. Like, I read a lot of, I'm a huge gamer, right? I read a lot of reviews for games coming out, especially RPGs, and like my chief complaint a lot of the time, I'm looking at you, Octopath Traveler, is there's just no variety. You're fighting the same enemies. It's like, okay, I know the tactic, and I'm expected to do this over a long period of time, and I'm out, I'm done. Like, you need that variety because everybody, you need a strategy, right? If something's different, then you think in your mind, approach it differently. And he does. Every time Jackie fights somebody, it's not just like kick to the face, jump kick to the face, punch to the face, punch to the face. Like, that's not, no. Every person that attacks him gets dispatched in an amazingly creative way, or beats him up for a good amount of time before he figures it out. Like, that's, yeah, the variety is just, and I like that you touched on the multiple levels of the mall, because that's what I think is so cool about it, is that it's not just a one level thing. It's like I mean, uh, it's just inventive, and it just, and that's definitely, he in the Peking Opera, like that's where he was supposed to go after the China Drama Academy. And
Jeez.
then that fell through. It wasn't popular, and so he was doing stunts, and then went down to Australia. And I mean, Jesus, Laura was listening to his Spotify the other day. People
Yeah.
don't recognize that, like, he has a great voice when he's singing in his language.
Mm-hmm.
He has great tone, like Jackie Chan. But like, that's what he was brought up to be: an entertainer, a singer, an acrobat, a martial artist. Like, and he is all of those things. It was a brutal school for
The
10 years.
14-hour days, and he would to walk
Yeah.
and get up at 4 a.m. and when he talks about what he had to do at that school, you're like, oh my gosh. But I mean, look what it made him. I guess he became one of the world's biggest stars ever.
So
And
my question about that though is, right. He went to this school, but they couldn't beat talent into him. They could beat skills into him that he had to practice over and over to get right. There were lots of people who went to those schools that aren't international action stars, but like, he had that talent.
because he wasn't, I'm telling you, man, the way that he was able to synthesize all the different, Eastern, Western action films, comedy, the way he drew from Buster Keaton, the way he wanted
Right.
to entertain, like he found an entirely new lane. He failed when he tried to be Bruce Lee. He
Yeah.
failed when he tried to be American Tough Guy. But when he was actually Jackie and used his upbringing with singing and entertaining and brought martial arts into it, that's when his movies blew up. And I think that's why he has such a great legacy. And also, this is random, but of all the action stars too, like I love that he takes a beating. And another action star who takes a beating that I appreciate is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like I feel like in every single Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, he was a dancer first, so he just wanted to enter, like, but he gets beat up in all of his movies, and then he rallies and wins. But I
Mhm.
like that. Like you watch a Steven Seagal movie and he just schlacks people. So I dig that they both had this sort of, they're both smaller guys, but I think they both had this sort of ability in them to be somewhat fallible, but also just steamroll your face into oblivion with some high kicks. So I don't know. I think that's why, Jean-Claude Van Damme didn't have, he's still acting, but he only had a certain amount of films. But you watch his earlier stuff, and those are revered films. I mean, Bolo Young's a great villain, but I like that both guys get hurt. And I like that they both make themselves look silly. It just makes me happy.
You brought up, so I'll just briefly. So Sylvester Stallone, right? Yeah, tough guy Rambo, but like Rocky. The whole premise of that first movie is him getting the crap kicked out of him and rallying back because he's that tough.
And Rambo
So
has
like,
PTSD, right? And he's just walking through. Like he doesn't want to be part of that. The first blood, at least.
the first, yeah, not part two where he goes back to Vietnam, where he's just, yeah, he's jumping, he does the knife, he gets hooked on the airplane jumping out, he's got the explosive arrows. Yeah, no, not that's not
No, no.
John Rambo. The first John Rambo was, yeah, he's just trying to walk through Oregon. That's it.
And
And
But
you know, yeah.
can we, sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, go ahead.
Let's think about this. John McClane, Keanu Reeves in Speed. I think I really do look at my some of my favorite action heroes at least seem fallible. If it's they they're not, even Arnold in Predator sold to the Predator, which made me happy. Like the Predator
Hmm.
beats the crap out of him. So I think that's what makes a great action film is when there are stakes. There are stakes in the police story world. There's stakes in Speed. People like die. Like the Raid, that's one of my favorite all-time action films. There's stakes. 13 Assassins, there's stakes. The Night Comes for Us, there's tons
Oh,
of
13 Assassins and the Raid in the same breath.
yeah,
Oh my God, yes.
gorgeous movies. And even Seven Samurai, there are stakes. People
Oh man, well,
die.
it's like my favorite movie. So.
And yeah, we should talk that. But it's maybe that's what makes it is I don't know. Maybe I just don't like the super immortal. I mean, I love the Fast Furious movies,
Well,
but
so
those aren't.
here's a interesting. So I feel like Jet Li had to course correct. So like the first time you really see him as an American is Lethal Weapon 4, and
Yeah.
he is an unstoppable killing machine, dude. He's just like the most lethal person you've ever met, right? And then he does. I can't even remember if Romeo Must Die came out. Like he does all these movies. He's just
Red
a
Dragon was
total.
cool though.
But then he does Danny the
Or
Dog,
oh yeah.
and he is just a whipped slave of a guy, and then he has to overcome that, and then that's the first time I feel like I saw Jet Li as like, oh, he was an underdog that came back, right? But
Oh.
and
Kiss of the
then
Dragon, not Red Dragon.
there's Donnie Yen, who is just classic because I mean, Ip Man, he's not, he's badass, but he's not totally invulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
He gets good beatings throughout that too. And I think Donnie Yen for me is the closest approximation in modern day doing action movies still to Jackie Chan. I don't think nobody will ever be Jackie Chan again, but Jackie Chan never really played that like straight. He's not like the master, whereas Ip Man
Yeah.
is. But I can see a lot of influence in Donnie Yen from Jackie Chan for
A
sure.
lot of cops. Jackie Chan started playing in 85 and beyond.
Yeah, that's true.
I do want to say though, Kiss of the Dragon. There is a
That's it.
fight in
Yeah.
Kiss of the Dragon in 2001 when I love when he fights the twins and I love when he fights the boxer and that song
The
by NERD or like Nerd
Oh
comes on.
yeah, the twins fight though is that's insane.
That
That's an insane fight.
like I remember that. I don't remember much about Bridget Fonda, but I remember those two fights being really awesome. But I mean, Fist of Legend's pretty cool, but that's a totally different movie. But I do like Fist of Legend, even though it's a remake.
But
But
also great movies.
yeah, exactly. But it's I guess going
But
back
like
to
would I be watching Jet Li without Jackie Chan? Would I watch Donnie Yen without I mean Jackie Chan? I mean, yeah, you could say Bruce Lee too, right? But Jackie Chan was there. That was the gap for 20 years at least.
and 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 what's I
And Sammo.
oh yeah. Like but my stepmom introduced me to him, which is kind of random. But yeah, it's I mean, there's so many different stars, but I just think living in America, like let's rephrase it to living in the States.
True.
Jackie Chan is who I mean, Bruce Lee. I watched Enter the Dragon when I was young. I mean, everyone knew Bruce Lee, but I think Jackie Chan opened up the doors for more like Chow Yun Fat to come over for
Yeah.
I mean for like well I mean John Woo came over earlier and did Hard Target and a few other movies that were successful, but I think Jackie Chan, for me at least, opened up the door to go check out his earlier films or to go check out Jet Li. Like when Jet Li came into Lethal Weapon 4, that was a big deal. And I
Yeah.
remember everyone's like, yo, Jet Li's gonna be in this. I'm like, who's Jet Li? So I remember I looked into him like, oh my gosh. And then, so I think his movies were a success, and then they were able to sort of capitalize on that.
But we're in the middle of like Jackie Chan mania,
Yeah. In the
like at
90s,
that time. So
96
like
and
Jet Li
beyond.
coming in, like we were ready. We were
Yeah.
ready. Give us another guy that does cool stuff like this. And there
Yeah.
Jet Li comes in. But I did want to say, even before I watched any Jackie Chan, when I was a kid, maybe in like fourth or fifth grade, my buddy next door got a copy of Young Dragons, the Kung Fu Kids. And we watched that first movie to death. And like I just loved the Foley artist noises, like the kicks and the pows and like the obviously not the sounds that things are making, but they sound really cool, you know. And like I think by the time I got to Jackie Chan, that had a big influence on me because I'd already seen movies that like did that. And
Oh,
I really just wanted to give a shout out to Young Dragons, the Kung Fu Kids, because if you guys haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's
it,
like we wouldn't have the Three Ninjas without that freaking movie, and that's a whole nother
that's
topic.
another episode.
Yeah,
And Home Alone, we wouldn't have probably Three Ninjas, right? But it's I do it, he just opened up a lot of doors for me in the 90s. He really did, for me to go explore more cinema. And I distinctly remember that. I remember just being really excited for Chow Yun Fat, Jet Li, everyone who crossed over after Jackie Chan. And it's cool. Like, because listen, you and I grew up in Florida,
yep.
and I don't think you and I had many cinephiles around us. Did you have some? I didn't. Sorry, I'm not going to speak for you. I didn't have any cinephiles around me.
Well, I grew up in Sarasota, which has a very very robust cinema film, like
Ah,
the
okay.
Sarasota Film Festival and Burns Court and all that. But I wasn't going to it. Like
Okay.
I worked at Blockbuster, and I liked watching movies anyway, you know. But I would say yeah, absolutely that, you know.
I worked in a
I
movie
think I
theater. I watched what was new.
it to me felt like the British invasion almost. Like here they are in the 60s and like British rock music really wasn't making any waves in the US. And all of a sudden it took a couple breakout groups, my favorite in particular, to come over and it was like, "Oh my god, British music. This is great." You know, and then here we are, Jackie Chan comes out, we see it as, you know, teenagers, and it's like, what else? What else is there? And all of a sudden Hong Kong cinema, and we get this whole, I mean it had been out there ever,
Yeah.
and we had all this stuff to watch all of a sudden, and it was like, yeah, that's what I did. I just went into it, all of it, and it was like you just saw cool upon cool. I mean, yeah, there's some duds in there, but like mostly it was really cool, you know. And yeah, it really broadened my horizons as far as, gosh, it probably had a huge influence on the rest of my life, you know. Even, you know, just, I mean, us moving to Korea, even
Yeah.
that kind of like, hey, I know there's stuff out there that I haven't seen. And yeah, you know, Asian culture was something that I wasn't really getting a lot of living in Sarasota.
In
And
St. Pete. And listen,
yeah, oh man,
I was
we,
originally supposed to move to Japan, and what got me there was Lost in Translation and Tokyo Drift. And so I got a job in Japan 4 days before I left. The company went
oh
under,
man,
and then I got a job over in Korea, which worked out well because I was going to be living in Tokyo, making next to nothing with about three roommates. Instead, I ended up in Cheongju, met you, Norbert, Niall, a bunch of really cool people, and then I yeah, just actually we made more money and we had our own apartments, really nice apartments in Korea. Taught
you're
it.
gonna love this.
We taught 27 hours a week, but yeah, that got me over there, and it was oh yeah, Tokyo Drift. That's a
Yeah,
classic. That's what I remember watching that movie and going, well, because I love Justin Lin. I
I
knew
got the
better.
sticker in Japan
Oh,
when I
did
bought
you?
the movie in Japan.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I knew Better Luck Tomorrow, and I knew like who Justin Lin was, and then I watched him like, man, Fast and the Furious and Justin Lin. So then that got me over to, almost got me over to Japan. They're like, you can go over there, you won't have a job, but you'll have an apartment to stay in while the rent's paid. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Now that's what got me over there. Then yeah, it's cool. But yeah, then I met you guys. We watched more movies. I think it just opened up my world. And yeah, it's Police Story has got to be. What are your favorite action films, James? I'm mumbling here. I'm kind of like. What do you what if you could go to an island with five action films? Which five would you take?
all right. Well, it's not going to be an immediate answer because that's a huge question.
I always drop the biggest bombs on you. So how about this? What are your
I feel like
favorite?
this is like
What
hot
have
ones right now.
what have you? What have your favorite? What are your favorite action films since 2010? I
Oh,
have mine if
since
you want to hear them. So I'm gonna
I haven't watched a lot of action movies since 2010. I would say Boss Level.
Raid 1 and 2. Boss Level's
Oh,
good.
oh,
Carnahan. Raid 1 and 2. Night Comes for Us. 13 Assassins.
oh, that's right. 13
I
Assassins.
love
Most
Triple
everything.
Threat. I love Mad Max Fury Road. I love John Wick. So I would say those four, and then the fifth is tied with about 8 movies.
All right. Well, let me just do all time then, because I don't. Action is not my biggest genre of
Oh,
movie. I watch a lot of horror movies, lots of comedies, lots of documentaries, and sports mostly.
do you like?
Um,
So you like Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
yeah.
That's a horror mockumentary comedy.
So favorite action movies, yeah, The Raid has got to be up there too. I have never seen a John Wick.
Oh
I
wow.
know, I know that my buddies are like, how have you not done? And the dog died in the first one, and they really screwed with me. And I know it's awesome, but like I will watch them. I will watch them.
Just fast forward it. I'll tell you when the timestamp is for you to start watching.
Actually, yeah, send me the timestamp for after that, and then I'll continue.
It took Megan a few
Um,
years to like the John Wick franchise again. After my wife Megan,
so
after that,
I would say probably, yeah, Police Story's up there, The Raid's up there. What is the one with the gun katas that nobody watched that was awesome?
Gun Kata.
Yeah, it's got
Oh,
Christian Bale.
Equilibrium. Equilibrium.
Yeah, underrated movie. That movie was awesome. Yeah, and Boss Level, another movie that like no one watched. And like I just told my buddy about it the other day, and he finally watched it and he was like, dude, nonstop action. And I'm like, it is. That's the whole movie. It's just Groundhog Day, action movie. Guy keeps dying, figures it out. That's the movie. Oh
Carnahan's a
man.
beast. You know, he made what, Narc, A Team, Smoking Aces, Stretch. Like he's made some good action films, Carnahan.
Okay, yeah, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, it's not that I'm not an action movie fan. It's I'm a very specific action movie fan. Ip Man 4. That's after
Scotty
20.
Adkins.
Dude, awesome freaking movie. Yeah, so my dad used to watch action movies, but he passed away in 2011. But like, I'd go to Blockbuster and he'd be like, I don't care, get 5 action movies. And like, I would be in the action section, like just picking them out. Like, it didn't matter what they were, and he would just love it. And like, there was this, yeah, there was this one awesome movie. It was just, oh man. Oh, I'm gonna have to find that out. Oh man.
It's pretty funny with my father-in-law. I just put a Scott Adkins movie on and it's all good. Just watch a Scotty A movie. And I definitely lean towards recently it's very much so for me about the Indonesian action films. Like I love the Raid 2, Night Comes for Us, Pre-Man, but I also dig Japanese action films like 13 Assassins, Battle Royale, and then you got the Hong Kong cinema. So I mean, I think
Battle Royale is
it's nuts. It
Dude,
really
Battle
is.
Royale. So I mean, so is 13 Assassins though. That is again amongst some of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's an all timer for me. I've been wanting to talk about it for years because I it just blows my mind, and the villain is just so hateful and
Yes.
horrifying. And it was I love, you know what, I'm going back to Police Story really quick, and I know you just looked up some movies, but I love at the end of Police Story when like you can't kill him, don't kill the bad guy, but Chan just works it like he just
Mhm.
Jackie just destroys his. I love it, and they're like, I didn't see that, so I love
Well, this
that.
isn't. We're not on the Police Story 2 one yet, but you know how that opens. So
I mean, I just love it, dude. I just love it that like it. Oh yeah, you're right. That's true. But still, it's
he
fun.
does work him
Yeah,
over though.
yeah, he does. Working those guts because in most movies are like, you're not hit. You're better than him. Don't do
Yeah,
this. Listen, I'm gonna destroy his liver. I don't care. I'm gonna punch him 45 times in the stomach, and it's beautiful.
but
It,
it's a good juxtaposition, right? That's what we were talking about earlier. Is like the comedy, the tonal shifts in this, and like he's comedy, comedy, comedy. Does this whole fight, and then you would think after the mall scene and stuff, yeah, cool off, buddy, cool off. All right, I'm cool. I'm cool. And no, he's not comedy Jackie Chan there. He's like, no, I'm getting my licks in. And then he just does it. And it's just like, whoa. Yeah, that's not the classic like chivalric hero.
he works those guts. It makes me very happy, and
Well, it does make you happy, right? Because we always see the whole like, I've got the white hat. Yeah, I'm better than you. And this guy's just, and it's not even just like one punch, like, ha ha, I got my one punch in. It's like, nope, I'm going all the way on this one. It's like, yeah.
and I didn't see anything. I'm gonna walk away. Uh, but listen, I'm
But
just
what
so glad.
happened?
I'm so glad we got to talk about this. There's so many other movies I want to talk. I want to talk about Equilibrium now. I want to talk about 13 Assassins now. There's so many movies that didn't come to the States Equilibrium because I think they made so much money on foreign
Seven
international
Samurai.
sales.
We could do a whole
Oh, seven.
episode about Kikuchiyo,
Oh, seven. That would be 4 episodes. But
the
yes,
greatest actor of samurai cinema. Man,
I would say greatest rain fight ever too. I'm just gonna put that out there.
man, it's just brutal when Gorobei dies. I'm just like,
Best mud fighting as well.
that's where Gorobei
Yeah.
dies in the mud. Man,
Just
it's so
dude,
horrible.
that's how you the characters in that, and it's so that's a very interesting film because it's Seven Samurai, Ronin, protect the village. Like that's so high concept. There's a lot more to it, but I, that's why I love it. Like I think you can condense the plot into an elevator pitch, but then it's so but because of that, you can make it rich with characters because the plot's so simple. It makes me not simple. I'm doing air quotes simple, but
Right.
it's and I think Police Story is that to a certain degree. It's just a cop has to protect a lady so she can be a witness at a trial, and things go crazy. And I love this movie. And do you have any other final thoughts to think about this? I mean, we've fanned it all over it, but fanboyed all over it. But
It's
I
true.
don't care, man. Like that, whatever. We're here to talk about movies we love, and this is a very influential movie, and I like it a lot. And I'm going to give you a $32.80 bonus for coming on this show, James.
I'll take that daily wage for protecting the integrity of the MFF podcast so that I can testify to how great cinema really is.
Oh, I love it. So did you come up with any movies before we got out of here? Or, did you?
I did want to add to my action movie list Bad Boys 2.
Okay.
Just because the leather is very supple.
Oh, those dead bodies. Here's the deal, James. Someone's coming over. They don't know many action movies. You have an
Mhm.
entire closet full of action movies, and you can pick two, like in Hot Fuzz. You pick Bad Boys 2 and Point Break. What two action films are you picking to show this person?
What two action movies am I picking to show this guy all about action movies? You know what? I'll have to keep it accessible. I'm gonna say that maybe a Rush Hour 1 is a good one. It's fun. It's not too hard to get into. It's enjoyable. I'm gonna give Rush Hour 1 a run, and then maybe for the second one, Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh, classic. That's a beautiful film. I'm going to go, if they've never seen action films, I'm going to do Die Hard and The Raid.
Nice,
That's what I think.
nice.
Because they're awesome.
I don't think any of those. If there was a four movie set, all those movies are accessible. Those are accessible movies.
James,
But
if I was in a store and I saw Rush Hour, Assault on Precinct 13, Die Hard, and The Raid in a 4-pack, I own all four of those, but I would buy it anyway. I would just be like, what is this? This is perfect.
no, that's like a thing you see in like a Walmart 11.99 bin, and it's just like the regular DVDs, not a Blu-ray. And you're like, why are these movies packaged together? And like, I don't care at that point. I'm like, what genius did that? This is great.
Give this person a raise. That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
Like, if I'm Universal, I'm going to put together the strangest 4-packs in the history of the planet. Because I have the Kurt Russell 4-pack, I have the Stallone 4-pack, I have the Wesley
Right.
Snipes 4-pack. I think that's Warner Brothers, actually. But if I'm Warner Brothers, I'm going to do four completely different genres and just slap no same actors, no same directors, and just slap them there and go, oh, what's this here? Batman Forever, My Best Friend's Wedding, Ishtar, and Godzilla vs Kong.
See, I was going with like Slapshot, the Cutting Edge, and like the Hudsucker Proxy. Why are they there? I don't know, but I like those movies. That's a great set.
There's ice skating in two of them, but not the third one.
That's exactly. It throws you totally off.
Wait, I would do Barton Fink, The Shining, and Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh man, I was gonna put Billy Madison in there, but that's even better. Oh my god, we could do this. This should be your next thing. This should be the next contest, the tournament. Like
Oh,
ridiculous movie packs, 5 movies that shouldn't be together, but they should be together.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, you'll come up with the rules for it, but that'd be fun. Like, who can make the best Walmart bargain bin DVD selections?
You're at a store and you see it, and they're four completely different genres, no classics, and it just confuses you as to why they're together.
Yeah, it has to confuse you as to why they're together. No theme has to be confusing.
But I do
It,
like
it
you can have juxtaposition too. You can have Barton Fink shine, no, not Shining, but you know what I mean. You can have two hotel movies and an insane film, and you're like, wait, that's getting an emotion from me. I don't understand why.
yeah, we'll call it like two guys, a girl, and a pizza place tournament because like that's what we're doing here. It's like there's just stuff.
Well, come by MFF, everyone, to Movie Films with Flicks Facebook to join in all these polls and tournaments. They're a lot of fun. But James, thank you so much for joining me, man. This is wonderful. I love this movie, and I love talking to you about movies, man. So thank you for joining me.
As always, an honor to be here, Mark. Can't wait
All
to
right.
do it again.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for James Mula, this is Movie Sizzle Flicks. We'll see you next week.